You cannot protect children when you can't see or hear them, because it doesn't really matter. As I said, that South Africa does have a strategy. The only problem is the actual implementation of the strategy and the different people actually doing that which they have promised. Now, in ensuring that, as per what the Convention on the Rights of the Child prescribes to us, as well as the African Union Convention on the Rights and the Welfare of the African Child, as member states, we are encouraged, and we are actually not encouraged. We are told, because we agreed ourselves, that we are going to involve children in decision making that affects them. Now, if we are going to engage children in decision making that affects them, the question then remains, we are aiding children that are in what kind of environment? Am I in an environment where I'm able to be heard or seen? Is the environment enabling me to actually be included in decisions that are going to affect me? And it's very easy for us to say the decision must be, government make the no, but the decision starts at home, where the child is able to express and say and be part of the conversation. And I must be very happy, because in my house, everybody's blind. So there's only 2 people that can see in that house. And the pleasure of us not seeing is that we have not replaced, the cell phone has not replaced our lives. And because all of our cell phones are talking. Now think about it. It's myself, it's my 2 daughters, it's my grandchild. It's only my middle daughter and my husband, and we all have our phones listening to our messages. Because we don't read them, we are going to listen to them. That in itself, close your eyes and think about it, it's chaos. So that's an advantage that we have. And to other people, it would look like, my guys, well, we're not complaining with our blindness, we are happy with it and all the challenges that it comes. And I'm using that example because I want to talk about children with disabilities. Because yes, we talk about children, but it is very important for us to also remember that children are also diverse. And in their diversity, we must actually ensure that their special needs are recognized. Because when your special needs are recognized, then you are able to be heard and to be seen, but you are also able to be consulted on whatever decision that's going to affect you. I think it's Prudence spoke about the issues around the statistics around where we are going and the implementation, but also talked about the guns that are not being silenced. Now, in those guns are children that are acquiring disabilities because of war. But once they are disabled because of war, what happens to them? And what is it that member states are doing to actually ensure that that child that's acquired a disability is able to actually go back and be in society and be able to function? A lot of the things in education, I think it's Janet in the slides talked about the issues around children that can read and write and all of that. If I mix the speakers, please forgive me. But I always say when children are assessed based on whether they can read and write, one of the things that, speaking for children with disabilities, is that children with dyslexia are actually pinched because they have no space where they are actually recognized or acknowledged. You can't read and write. No, I can read and write. I just read the A facing the opposite direction or the M becoming the W. But in the long scheme of whatever child protection system that we are developing for them, they always are not there. And when they are measured against their peers, they are actually not having, because every child is judged based on their ability, on numeracy and exactly. And now they will always be bullying because you automatically fall into Odom. We've also, throughout the African continent, picked up the issue around the brutal murders of children with albinism. And if I listened well, even in what Janet was saying, that doesn't come up. But actually, they have nowhere to go. And when you count children that actually have a disability, and you start in the disability, you go straight into different breakdowns. You realize that children with albinism, one, their eyes makes them blind, but their albinism makes them a target for all of us. Quick reach, whatever. So they become dropouts. Their families, in a way of protection, hides them in their bedrooms because the intention is not to abuse them. And when you look at the different systems and from the different speakers, that aspect when we talk about child protection doesn't come through, because it actually, this child will never leave the room. This child is at risk just to go to the shop. The chances of that child coming back in the African continent are actually like 5%. Deaf children are unable to express themselves, but we appreciate the South African government because we've managed to amend the constitution to make sign language the 12th language, and we remain committed to ensuring that children. I've already spoken about blind children. I used my own family. If we don't want blindness in our family, as girls, we must all go sterilize. That's the only way, because it's genetic. So we don't have. I'd like to also just remind us that we do have children in shelters. And what is said is that they are relevant the day they are put in the shelter, but all of us then move on. And in those shelters, you look at children in conflict with the law. I mean, we were doing our child and youth care workers visits, and there was a 11-year-old girl. Oh my guy, why are you in here for? No, I killed my friend. You killed your friend, why? Because she took my boyfriend. Now I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, my guy, you're only 11, eh? How do you kill? But that is where we are.